Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 virtual third quarter award ceremony for the police department. I'm Chief John Bolduc of the Port St. Lucie Police Department. COVID-19 has changed the way we do a lot of things, and recognizing our employees' outstanding performance is still very important, even though we can't socially get together. So I'm very happy that our staff in the City Communications Department have taken the time to go ahead and videotape this ceremony so that we can show the people who are doing an outstanding job how much we appreciate them. And without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Sergeant Inigo.
We'll begin with those personnel who earned a Service Citation Award. For 5 years of service, Officer Julia Tranberg. For 10 years of service, Jenny Salima, Crossing Guard Supervisor. For 15 years of service, Officer Stephen Camara and Officer Stuart Clearman. For 25 years of service, Master Sergeant Michael Beath. For the Career Ladder Program, Senior Sergeant John Holman has obtained the rank of Master Sergeant. The following officers earned an Educational Achievement Award. For an Associate's degree in Criminal Justice, Officer Daniel Leaflang, Officer Camille Marin, and Detective Supreet Fraga. For a Master of Business Administration degree, Detective Sergeant Jason Vega. The following officers received the Unit Citation Award. For the Rivergate Park attempted robbery case, Sergeant Christopher D'Angelo, Sergeant Charles Lumpkin, Sergeant Matthew Wood, Officer Taylor Battistelli, Officer Alexis Corona, Officer Alexandra Dorico, Officer Courtney Druga, Officer Benjamin Gaspar, Canine Officer William Harris, Officer Russell Jackson, Officer Brett LaGrega, Officer Cherie Lucas, Officer Suzanne Moore Flatus, Officer Roderick Nesbitt, Officer Joshua Pito, Officer Bryce Thomas. On September 21st, officers were dispatched to a call regarding people who were shooting at each other at the Rivergate Park boat ramps. As Parks officers reviewed surveillance video, others responded to the scene. At this point, off-duty Officer Dorico was in the area and saw two suspicious males cross Veterans Memorial Parkway from the boat ramps towards Sea Fury Lane. Officer Dorico called Officer Lucas to relay what she observed and was then told about the shooting. Officer Dorico directed others to where the suspicious males were last seen. Officers LaGrega, Lucas, Williams, and Gaspar located both males at the intersection of Stewart Road and Holland Street, where they were detained pending the investigation. Parks Officer Pito retrieved the security video of the incident. The tag number was visible on the security footage, and the owner of the vehicle was identified. Canine Officer Harris saw the car crossing the Twin Bridges into District 2, and the car was eventually found in the area of Pisces Terrace, where the driver was detained. After the investigation, the two subjects who ran from the boat ramps were identified as suspects in this particular case. They eventually admitted to going to the park to rob the drug dealer they were meeting. One suspect had a knife on his person, and the other had a gun. After a brief struggle, the victim got the gun away from one of the suspects and fired a round at the other suspect. Due to the combined efforts of District 1 and 2, Canine and Parks officers, the suspects were detained within 6 minutes of the call to 911. Both suspects were charged with robbery with a firearm, carrying a concealed firearm, and public order crimes for the use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. Great teamwork by all involved. Unit Citation for the Records Department Productivity. Sherry Barrett, Karen Baggett, Elaine Cook, Denise Marengo, and Isabel Rodriguez Holder. Each of you has been awarded this citation based upon your unwavering support for not only the Records Department, but each other during the time that the Records Department was down 3 employees. Also, employees were out of the office because of being quarantined, therefore leaving the records section shorthanded. Your actions depict what a team is all about. Together you completed your assigned tasks and regularly helped each other out to ensure all tasks were completed in a timely manner. With several jobs on the sidelines due to a lack of employees, you kept a fantastic and positive attitude, which was displayed daily. Your supervisor, Linda Cole, wrote that she is thankful for each of you because she could not have accomplished what she has if not for your hard work and dedication to the agency. Thanks to all. Keep up the excellent work. Unit citation for the stolen safe case. Sergeant Timothy Bort, Detective Supreet Fraga, Canine Officer Michael Colton, Officer Ryan Cook, Officer Adam Doty, Officer David Goldstein, Officer Jesse McInerney, and Officer Tanner Theriault. On July 12th at 1 p.m., officers were dispatched to Southeast Bay Harbor Street regarding the homeowner's safe that was stolen, which contained approximately $20,000 in jewelry. Later, at approximately 1:26 a.m., District 2 Midnight officers were dispatched to Southwest Irving Street regarding a burglary in progress. As FTO McInerney and Officer Cook arrived, they noticed a male in the woods alongside the house. The officers issued verbal commands and the male complied. He was identified as a male suspect who had a warrant out of Martin County. After placing the man into custody, a search of his person was done and a bag of jewelry was discovered. The jewelry in the pouch was positively identified by the victim from Bay Harbor. The safe was located on the ground on the south side of the residence with multiple holes from what appeared to be a drill and a cutout piece from what appeared to be a grinder. Officer Goldstein then spoke to the homeowner, who gave consent to search the residence. While searching the home, items were located inside a bedroom to include several identification cards, checkbooks, 2 sets of keys, and several other documents. A drill and a grinder were found inside the garage in the area of the floor that the stolen safe was believed to be. Officer Goldstein achieved a confession from the suspect, who admitted to taking the safe from Bay Harbor and bringing it to Irving Street to access its contents with the help of the homeowner. As Officer Doty arrived, he spoke to a male and female witness. He gathered written statements which yielded a sexual battery investigation where the homeowner was the suspect. CID was notified and Detective Fraga responded. These 2 incidents illustrate the collaborative teamwork that the officers of the District 2 Midnight Shift possess. They worked collectively, and while the investigation had several moving parts, they never skipped a beat as they brought these 2 cases to a successful conclusion. Congratulations on a job well done. Unit citation for an attempted traffic stop which resulted in a stolen vehicle arrest. Sergeant Andrew Lawler, Detective Abe Alves, Detective Christopher Capozzi, Detective Rafael Rodriguez, Officer Robert Burdick, Officer Corey Collier, Officer Michael Connor, Officer James Diacetis, Officer Gregory Gibbons, Officer Brennan Lawton, Officer Alan Ludmerer, Officer Jesse McInerney, Canine Officer Mike Colton and his Canine Danny, Canine Officer Mitch Miller and his Canine Bleck, CSI Samantha Borras, and CSI Janelle Ramirez. On August 5th at 2:47 a.m., Officer McInerney attempted a traffic stop on a black truck for excessive speed at Port St. Lucie Boulevard and Floresta Drive. District 1 units responded to the vehicle owner's address on Isabel Road to determine who was driving the vehicle. After Officer McInerney disengaged from the traffic stop, Officer Burdick began looking for the car and located it, abandoned, at Port St. Lucie Boulevard and Anisi Street. A perimeter was established and St. Lucie County's air unit responded while canine officers Colton and Miller initiated a track. Both canines conducted an extensive track, but ultimately no suspects were apprehended. Officer Diacetis contacted the vehicle owner, who told him that he was not aware his vehicle was missing and it needed to be reported stolen. Inside the vehicle was several credit cards. Detective Alves and Capozzi conducted a canvass near the victim's residence and video doorbell footage was recovered. On the video, a male suspect is observed walking up the driveway and then walking to the garage. A couple of minutes later, the victim's vehicle is seen traveling northbound on the street. On Thursday, August 6, CSI Borras and Detective Alves responded to a tow truck company to process the vehicle for latent prints and DNA. Detective Alves was also contacted by Officer Lawton, who advised he was dispatched to Haddon Street for recovered/found property. Upon his arrival, he was handed a black wallet determined to be the victim's wallet. Missing out of the wallet was his credit card and currency, but all identification was located. Once the victim retrieved his vehicle from the impound lot, he called and advised that 2 water bottles and a red t-shirt located inside the vehicle were not his. Officer Collier responded to the residence and collected the items, which are submitted as evidence. A formal request was submitted to CSI Ramirez to process the clothing, bottles, wallet, and cell phone. Later in the day, detectives identified a suspect from the surveillance video previously collected. A consent to search his bedroom was obtained, and 3 credit cards with the victim's name on them were in his room. During a formal interview by detectives, the male suspect admitted to stealing the victim's vehicle. He was subsequently arrested. The collective teamwork that everyone displayed led to the successful arrest and resolution of this incident. Congratulations on a job well done. The following officers received an Administrative Excellence Award. For the See Something, Say Something link, Detective Sergeant Lisa Marie Carrasquillo and Detective Kristen Meyer. During this rating period, you both recognized the need to educate the community on the reporting procedures of those determined to be missing and missing endangered, which were posted on our social media platforms. As the PIO and lead missing persons detective, you each played a role in the sharing of information. Sergeant Carrasquillo was responsible for posting the bulletins on social media, sifting through the comments for potential leads, and then updating the community on the outcome. Detective Meyer was responsible for following up on these leads and sharing this information with Sergeant Carrasquillo for community response. You both recognized that several of the posted comments were questions relating to our reporting criteria and made by some who were questioning our process. The influx of these comments slowed down the information sharing process. As such, you both communicated and coordinated with the communications department to create the See Something, Say Something link to our city website. This link is information-based and provides the community with the reporting procedures outlined in our missing persons general guidelines. In doing so, the community was provided with answers to the questions they had been asking. With an added link to Project Lifesaver, it offers those in need with a resource previously unknown to them. The collaborative efforts needed to accomplish this task demonstrated a level of performance in an administrative capacity that went above and beyond the expected performance of your duties. Congratulations on a job well done. For overall job performance, Detective Kristen Meyer. You were tasked with being the primary investigator for missing persons cases, risk protection order incidents, and school threat inquiries. Since October 2019, you were assigned 146 cases for follow-up investigations, many of which are missing and endangered juveniles requiring immediate attention. Typically, you had to work well beyond your regular work hours as you coordinated your response with other law enforcement agencies and the families who were trying to find their loved one. Since that time, 88 missing persons, the majority of whom are children, were safely recovered and reunited with their families due to your efforts. Also, you serve as an agency liaison to Project Lifesaver, which provides vulnerable, at-risk individuals with a GPS tracking bracelet. You work with school resource officers, school security officers, and school personnel. These critical investigations often garner a significant amount of attention, and you show the experience and expertise to navigate these often complicated issues. Risk protection orders and implementing the RPO process is yet another intricate process involving the initiation of a civil action designed to keep firearms out of the hands of individuals who have been identified as having met the criteria for an RPO. Working with the city attorney's office and a circuit judge, you ensure our organization has set the benchmark when it comes to the handling of these sensitive but highly important non-criminal cases. Your organizational skills are unparalleled, and your passion for your work is evident as you continually strive to achieve a successful conclusion for each case you are assigned. While the majority of these cases you handle are non-criminal, they are highly critical as they involve the safety and welfare of our most vulnerable citizens. Because of your diligence, you are most deserving of this award. Outstanding job. For overall job performance, Sergeant Sheila LaGrega. In July 2020, you were tasked with policy reviews and job description updates for crime prevention, school resource officers, juvenile diversion, and truancy. As well, you were assigned with organizing a shred event, 4 food distributions, and 3 COVID-19 testing events. To date, you coordinated events that have raised more than $13,000 for Shop with a Cop and organized several upcoming toy drives and fundraisers. Among new ideas implemented are Dodge a Cop, Fill the Fence, and the Police Station Playhouse. Collectively, they brought police, local businesses, and the community together to raise money and awareness for underprivileged children and families who are struggling financially. Additionally, you proposed a new program that, if successful, will place food and hygiene pantries discreetly in each high school in the city of Port St. Lucie to assist students in need. Based on your terrific coordinating and planning efforts, you are being presented with this award. Great work. For the acquisition of the license plate reader, commonly known as the LPR, Detective Jerry Harrington. Over the last several years, our agency has considered purchasing an LPR system after successfully solving several property crime cases with information shared by our neighboring agencies who currently have LPR systems. Due to these successes, our detectives have routinely reached out to surrounding agencies to assist in our own investigations. It was during these times that you went above and beyond the normal scope of your duties to ascertain what was needed for our agency to acquire an LPR system. You have spent countless hours working on a proposal for the agency's first LPR. After reaching out to several agencies to gather their general guidelines for using the LPR systems, working with the department's chain of command and finance department, the LPR system was approved and we acquired a mobile trailer. The system has already paid dividends and has become a key factor in solving multiple crime patterns. Due to your dedication to this cause, our detectives have an additional tool that is essential for solving crimes. Your efforts will prove to be beneficial to the agency and the citizens of this city for years to come. Based on your drive and desire to improve this agency, you are being presented with this award. Great work. Being recognized for the Brian E. Ruther Manager's Award is Detective Sergeant Lisa Marie Carrasquillo. While working in the capacity of Public Information Officer, you have streamlined the police department's social media presence by ensuring communication within divisions and agencies is shared and that the information presented is accurate. Working together with several news outlets, the city, and other divisions can be a daunting task. With the advent of social media, you added an interactive element to how information is shared, where the community is fully informed on all facets of policing and where they eagerly assist in our prevention of crime. Whether handling a high-profile case or showcasing a feel-good story, you are responsible for ensuring the victim's rights are protected, the agency is being transparent, and that the media is not being denied information. Your work ethic and performance demonstrates a high ability to manage and lead complex tasks, people, and processes. Additionally, your effective communication of our department's mission, goals, and vision, coupled with our agency's commitment to transparency, has taken the PIO position to the next level. Keep up your tremendous efforts in the department. Being recognized as Volunteer of the Quarter is John Gavreau. Based upon a nomination submitted by Tom Andrew, you are selected as the Volunteer of the Third Quarter for 2020. You have been a volunteer with this department since October of 2003. You have volunteered in several areas of the volunteer program. Presently, and for some time now, you coordinate the closed houses for the Crime Watch and community patrols and report the volunteer hours. To accomplish this more efficiently, you have worked with Spanish Lakes Golf Village Community Patrol on a new procedure for the listing and checking of closed houses. This new procedure is working well and will soon be introduced to other community patrols for closed house checks. You are a dedicated volunteer who takes great pride in your work. You approach your duties with the utmost professionalism and dignity, and we are lucky to have you on our team. Congratulations on a job well done. Being recognized as Civilian of the Quarter is Bianca de Jesus. Based upon a nomination received by Melissa Jungjohan, you have been selected as a Civilian of the Third Quarter for your outstanding administrative service to this department. Since you became a member of the agency in 2015, you have established yourself as a critical member of not only internal affairs, but the agency. You tend to your work quietly and unassumingly, never seeking out accolades for a job well done. You have learned a vast amount about the daily procedures and operations within internal affairs and have become the go-to person within the division. You assist those who have questions on the proper procedures when filling out various complaint packets and deliver outstanding customer service to those requesting help on everyday issues. You establish positive relationships with anyone you meet, making that individual feel heard and understood. You communicate effectively with members of the department as well as with residents we serve. Due to the social distancing requirements resulting from COVID-19, you familiarize yourself with the various virtual webcasts our agency would transition to when conducting meetings. You took the lead in establishing these meetings calmly and rationally without hesitation or trepidation. You routinely assisted many department staffers with a level of professionalism and patience that did not go unnoticed. In one instance, there was a week-long meeting with outside parties. The moderator of the forum requested to meet with specific individuals via Zoom and establish social distancing within a small room. You took on the challenge with ease and aided their request. Because of your support, the meeting went off without a hitch. You also looked for various methods in streamlining and updating your daily assignments to better the department. You look for ways to improve processes and workflow. You demonstrate outstanding leadership qualities and ensure the proper individuals are included in the decision-making process. You take the initiative to be an informal leader and share your insights with those around you. You are an asset to our department and are most worthy of being named the Civilian of the Third Quarter for 2020. Well done. Being recognized as Detective of the Quarter is Detective Rafael Rodriguez. Based upon a nomination submitted by Detective Capozzi, you are named Detective of the Third Quarter for 2020. During this quarter, you investigated several cases ranging from exploitation of the elderly, theft of over $150,000 in coins, several burglaries, and cleared 2 crime patterns by arrest. Below are a few examples. While investigating a theft of $150,000 in stolen coins, you determined the victim was being exploited by a contracting crew who had charged her over $200,000 in faulty work. Because of your work with the City Building Department, arrests are forthcoming for the accused as you try to recoup her lost expenses for both the theft of coins and faulty work. You then investigated 2 crime patterns. These patterns included 9 auto burglaries, 1 occupied residential burglary, and a vandalism pattern. A lead was developed by MPB, and upon your follow-up, a suspect was identified. As a result, you received a full confession from the suspect and cleared the crime pattern by arrest. Lastly, while investigating a theft of an iPad from a donation center, you developed a lead and identified a suspect. Through communications, the suspect alleged that he had found it and would gladly return it. However, your investigation determined this to be untrue. The iPad has since been returned to the owner. Overall, you have been identified as a great partner and investigator. You are always willing to help other detectives and is everyone's go-to person for any electronic investigative needs. Congratulations on an outstanding job. Being recognized as Officer of the Third Quarter is Officer Corey Kresick and his canine, Jackson. Based upon a nomination submitted by Detective Sergeant Alves, you have been selected for Officer of the Third Quarter for 2020. You have been described as a hardworking and dedicated officer who responds to work every day with a positive attitude. You have a strong work ethic and are always willing to help whenever possible, especially when utilizing Canine Jackson. You are always active while on shift by conducting traffic stops, backing up his zone partners, assisting other agencies with Canine Jackson, or taking primary on calls for service. During this third quarter, you made 12 arrests/apprehensions, had 1 track and find where a handgun was located and the subject arrested, and 2 track and finds where both subjects were Baker-acted and in need of medical attention. One case which demonstrates your exceptional performance follows. You responded to a call for service of a vehicle burglary which occurred within the last 10 minutes and observed a group of 6 individuals on foot attempt to elude a responding patrol vehicle. You immediately stopped and deployed Canine Jackson and began tracking. You, Canine Jackson, and your tracker backer successfully located all 6 subjects who were detained. Based on investigations and interviews, these juvenile subjects were pulling on door handles within the neighborhood and taking anything of value from within these cars. This arrest closed a spree in District 2 and led to numerous arrests in District 3 for the same offense. While interviewing these juveniles, it was learned that they admitted to being dropped off in the area by another individual who was believed to be in a stolen car. This information was shared with dispatch, located in Fort Pierce, and ultimately resulted in an arrest. With this example, 6 subjects were arrested, a stolen vehicle was recovered, and 2 sprees were solved in this one night. It is due to your exceptional duty performance that you are most deserving to be honored as the Port St. Lucie Police Department's Officer of the Third Quarter. Thank you for your invaluable service to the agency. Great job. This concludes our third quarter awards ceremony.
Again, thank you so much for taking the time to view this virtual award ceremony. I think you'll see from the awards that the good police work and good support is still going on in this organization, even though COVID-19 doesn't let us celebrate it the way we used to. Again, thank you so much.